Alright, we're back with another video on the Steam Deck. We're going to do a dirt cheap upgrade to this thing that should make a pretty good difference. Let's get started. So what we're going to do, we're going to replace the eMMC card with an actual NVMe drive. But I figure we'll do a little base test here prior to upgrading to see what the kind of boot up speed is at, and that is on this. So I'm going to go ahead and battery's already dead on it, so I'm going to just plug it in and power it up and time it and see how long it takes for it to boot up. Okay, well, we'll call that the boot up time. So I'm going to go ahead and power it down. And we'll start tearing it apart. One very important thing too is make sure that you eject your SD card out. If you don't, it will potentially snap in half. I've got my tray here. I'm going to try to keep, there's 8 screws here. I'm going to try to keep them organized, based on where I unscrew them from in the tray. All right, now that all the screws are out, I'm going to set that to the side. And we will need a spudger to try to pop this thing open. This is supposedly the hardest part of the whole thing. All right. Now we're in the good stuff. So I have to somehow manage to remove this foil tape here. as it covers up one of the screws. And there's screws on this heat shield. Looks like 3. This one is a long one. There's 2. And 3. And this should come right off. In case you want to see it, there's little pads underneath it. Oh, and you're supposed to be careful. I didn't really show it here, but this fan cable, you want to make sure that doesn't get pinched. Okay, and I've started to do this already, but right here is the battery cable, and you should disconnect that before taking the SSD out. Let's see if I can. I guess that's up far enough. And then we have to remove the screw here, and this is for SSD. We'll just keep that right there. And then just pull this out. Now that we've got the SSD out, just have to remove the shielding. Now, apparently it may or may not slide off of this. If it does not, then you can just lift it up there. So we will just go ahead and gently boy, I don't know, that's a lot of, yep. Gently pull this off. And then remove our old SSD. Well, this is the old one. Our new one here. This apparently is out of a Surface, Microsoft Surface tablet. So we will go ahead and reinstall. Should just, that looks good there. And then install the new one back in. And then it's just put everything back together. Oh, and also don't forget to plug your battery back in. They recommend spinning the screw backwards for a turn to make sure you don't cross thread anything.
You'll hear it kind of pop. And then that means once it pops, then you can screw it back in.
All right. Now the next steps, well, first we have to charge it back up. So I'm going to go ahead and plug it in, get it charged up. Once it's charged up, then we have to run a restore on the SteamOS. So what you need for that is a USB-C flash drive. And I'll put instructions in the description below where you can go to, you have to use Rufus to turn this into a boot drive basically, but I'll put the details. It's pretty easy to do. I'm not going to show it on camera because you can't really, there's no way to really see it anyway. So we'll go ahead and get this plugged in and get it charged. And then once it's charged up, we'll go ahead and reinstall the SteamOS. Alright, so to reinstall this thing, we're going to have to go into the BIOS, the boot mode, and to do that, apparently, you hold down the volume button, press power, and then it asks you to select the boot drive. Alright, so we got the thing here. I finally booted up. You click on Reinstall SteamOS. And now it's doing something else. I don't know what, but we'll see what happens. Apparently I had to do the Reimage option. I'm not really sure why, but it seems to be doing something right now, so hopefully we'll see if this keeps working. So it could take up to about an hour to do, so I'll just come back once it's done. Well, that didn't take an hour. It took up maybe about 5 minutes, if that. So I'm going to go ahead and get this thing set up, and we'll see what happens. All right, looks like we're up and running finally. All right, only one more thing to do. See if the boot time's any faster. All right, it says it's up to date, so I'm going to try it one more time. Powering, if I make sure I get the power button. All right, powering on now. Well, I guess we'll time them both, but I'd say that seemed a little bit quicker. Well, that's it. Real quick here. Go in. Settings. System. No, where's storage? And it is showing 222.7 gigabytes free, so everything appears to be working. So if you have any questions on this or anything you want me to go over, leave it in the comments below. Otherwise, we'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.